There we go. I think we are live, I hope. Let's see. I don't even know if I've got everything going. I've got a hound at my window hacking. Let's see. Yep, it looks like we are good. Hopefully audio is working. Let's find out. You're not coming in, Wade. Actually, do you want in? You can come lay in. Did you want in? You can come lay in here if you want. Do you want in, Wade? Okay. Well, I'm not letting you back in again. Pick one. Come on. Do you want to come in? Not you, Gibson. I've only got room for one. You don't want in here anyway. Wade, lay down if you want in here. I'm going to be right back up, sending him back out. Watch. He's not. I don't want both of you. I can't have you both. There's not room. No, I don't. I do not need a hound's help. Just wait, boy. I don't need help. Okay, it looks like everything is good. Now I've got Gibson standing with his sad face out the window, like, well, why can't I come in too? He doesn't want in here. You don't even want in here. What do you want? What do you want? Why is this happening right now? I'm live. You're making this difficult. You're leaving snoot juice on my arm. Ew. Okay, so tonight, seriously, Gibson, you're just gonna stand there and make me feel guilty. You don't need in, and also you know how to open that door, so I'm not gonna feel guilty. It's not working. If I just keep saying it enough, it'll be true, right? Wade's behind me now. I don't know how well this will work out with me rolling back. Yeah, I don't think that's going to work because I have to roll my ball back to sit. Oh my gosh. Whatever. Okay, so Gibson's still standing there with his sad face outside my door. Oh my God. I shouldn't have let Wade come in. Fine, you can come in too, but you're not going to be able to lay in here. Are you just going to leave? You know what? We'll just leave the door open. Well, I don't even know what's about. I'll close it once they figure out where they're going. Okay. Oh my gosh. There's a start to tonight's live stream. So we are back to working on this digital painting. You're both going to stand out there now. The door is open and you're just standing there. Gibson, what do you want? Are you going to come say hi to everyone now too? I don't even know. Yeah, you guys can see him. What? What you want? We're not going on a walk yet. I don't think we're walking at all tonight. It's raining. That won't work. You can't just stare me into submission. Oh my gosh. It is a dog night. What are you doing? Go away. Go lay down somewhere. Okay, so tonight we are working on, I guess I should actually pull that off. You guys can't see. We are working on the anemone. Gibson, seriously? What are you doing in here? You're distracting me. I'm being distracted by hound. I'm distracted by hound. Okay. Let's see. You got compared to a cat, just so you know. You're like someone's Bengal, although they're probably a better watchdog than you are, so there's that. Okay, so back to anemone. Let's go ahead and we can get started on that. So before we get started, if you are looking for straight art tutorials, you're going to want to sign up for Patreon for as little as $4 a month. You get access to all of my longer tutorials. There are over 300 available immediately as soon as you sign up, and then a new one every single week in multiple mediums. So there's that. These are we just get to chat. It's a live stream where I'll be drawing. It's not really so much a lesson. I mean, I'll explain what I'm doing to an extent, but mostly we're just going to chat about anything you guys want, except politics. We don't go into that, but we keep it fun mostly, unless I'm ranting about something like flexi leads or I don't know what else Facebook. So that's what it was. You were just going to stand out there, give sad face at the window so I'd get up, which meant bad cow got up, and then you took his spot. He's an evil genius. He's laying on the floor now where Wade was. Anyway, Wade wishes he was a cat. Wade's a bad cow. Wade went through, this is why he's a bad cow. He found his way into my bedroom closet, and I have a trash can in there that just has like stuff from when I do my makeup, like Q-tips and stuff, and he pulled everything out and took it all into my studio. All of it. He must have made many trips to make that happen. Anyway, such a bad cow. So let's go ahead and, so there's the thing with Patreon. Oh, I do want to say, and I didn't put a link in the description. Hold on, I'm going to do that really quick because this is actually kind of important and I just totally forgot. I'm on TikTok now. I actually have plans. So the TikTok thing, I started off by, I think I want to make a YouTube short. Let's make some shorter, like 1-minute videos, just a speed painting with music over it. And I thought that was a great idea. And then I was like looking up, like, what are tips or best practices for that? Oh, hold on. I've got volume I don't need. What are best practices and such for that? And they they basically were saying, I'm just looking up what my username is so that I can link. I don't even know. They said it's basically the same as TikTok. And then I'm like, well, if I'm going to go through the trouble of making, actually, I can pull this up so you guys can see it. This is my, there's the TikTok page there. So I have 3 videos so far. But like, if I'm going to go through the trouble of making TikTok, why not just that, or like of learning to do stuff that would work for TikTok? If I'm doing the YouTube shorts, why not just make TikTok too? So yeah, I'm doing that now. Let me go ahead and edit the description. Let's see. There. Now there is a follow me on TikTok. Now it is saved. And yes, so if you want to see more short videos, I have some ideas for some fun stuff I want to do over there that's like pretty fast and like easy to do. That's the thing. I don't have time for a lot, but if it's something I can get done very quickly, like I made a sort of template where I can just drag and drop some of the sped up videos into and then throw music over it. So I need stuff that I can do very quickly, but I have some that are like 15-second videos, a whole bunch of them I'm going to start doing. I'm kind of excited about. They are art related. I'll probably put some animal stuff there too, but you can follow me on TikTok now. Rob, I still have your painting. I have not shipped it yet. It's sitting on my thing. I was like, yeah, I'm going to ship it on Monday. And I didn't because I suck. Tonight, I need to box it up. Like I have envelopes right back there. It's just ready for me to package. And anyway, poor Rob was the first one who won one of the giveaways. And I still haven't sent him. His and 2 others need to be sent. 2 others need to be varnished. His is ready to go right now. I'm a jerk. Anyway, Clark said, I have my alarm set because I walk around all day looking at the clock and then an hour before something will distract me. Look, squirrel, and then I'm late. Yeah, I'm bad about that. Okay. So Gypsy Heart said, I struggle watching art TikTok videos. The amount of cringe between brush destruction, copyright infringement, running rabbit, and the water-based on top of oil-based, I cry. Oh, so TikTok seems weird. You guys, you can let me know what your thoughts are on this. But it seems to me that like a large point of TikTok is just plagiarism. Like one of the best practices or things they tell you to do is I think, and maybe I don't understand this completely, but they call it a duet. And you pretty much take someone else's video and then plagiarize it and make yours step by step, frame by frame, color by color. Like everything's the same. And I'm like, it's like Etsy with videos. It's a little bit weird to me. I'm not really getting why. Like that definitely seems odd that you're not making, it's not like really pushing, hey, make your own original content. Yeah, I just thought that was odd. There's my reference photo. There we go. So that seems a bit weird, but it seemed like there were fun things I want to do. I know one of it is just one of the biggest best practices to grow fast is that you're supposed to copy other people's, like find what's trending and then copy it. I don't know. It's weird. I mean, maybe I'll do that. I'll give that a try. But the idea I have, I'm sure someone else is doing it, but my ideas, I'm like, it just was my idea. It was something that popped in my head that sounded like it'd be fun, and I'm going to do that. And they'll be quick videos so I can record a bunch at once and then upload. Because they say, that's the other weird thing with TikTok. They say to do well with it, you're not going to get run over, Gibson. You're in a good spot. They say to do well with it, you're supposed to upload 3 to 5 videos a day. But each video can be 10 or 15 seconds long. Like they don't have to be long, but it's very odd. The best practices for that are very different than for any other platform. And it's so you can't, like, what works well on Facebook is not necessarily the exact same content you want to do in Twitter, or if you use that crap platform. Although I've been tempted, I'm like, maybe I should. No, I'm not going to bother with Twitter. But it's the same. Like each platform kind of has its own thing that works well with it. And so you've got to find out what that is. So that's why I've been watching like what best practices are. So, cause I don't even use TikTok at all. Like I have not used, like, I don't watch, I mean, when people link me videos, but like I used to know a girl who would link me videos constantly and they were actually annoying. They were not funny. It was rare she linked me something that was remotely like, why are you sending me this? So let's pull this over here a little bit. Don't want to bump Amelia's cage. Sorry, Amelia. There we go. So, yeah, it's just kind of weird. I don't even have my brushes set up. What brush do I want? I don't even know what I have out. We'll go with you. Probably need that to be a bit larger from last time I used this. So yeah, I guess one of the worst things about it is technically if you're going to use a platform, it's probably better, knocking over a water bottle, probably better to use it and just kind of get a feel for what other people are posting and, you know, that sort of thing before you bother making your own content. I'm over here like, oh, jumping right in before I've ever watched somebody's video. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But it's weird because they encourage you, like that is considered a best practice is to plagiarize. Like you're supposed to do it there. So odd. Gypsy Harris said, yes, that happens a lot over there. Tons of people painting celebs and other various stuff they can't actually use and they sell them. Blows my mind. Well, it'll be all fun and games till they get sued. Starving Collective said, hope you are having a good experience with TikTok. Have seen recent documentary about their data mining plus algorithm manipulation, making Facebook look reasonable in comparison. I don't see. They both do it. They're both crap. Actually, okay. When I posted on Facebook earlier, I think I put too much coffee creamer in that. Oh, that was sweet. You know it's a lot if I'm complaining it's too sweet. But somebody posted when I posted on Facebook about it, and they were like, you know, they won't use it because the data, like you said, the data mining. And you're right. You're absolutely right. That is not an incorrect thing. Where am I starting? Let's get some of these shadows in here. And they're like, I won't use TikTok because that. I mean, Facebook's the same, but this is the only way I have to contact my friends and family. I'm like, if everyone would just leave Facebook, and then all their friends and families would follow because they were not there too. And it's so annoying hearing that constantly. This, I can't leave Facebook because I'm gonna have to restart this program. It is not responding like it's supposed to. But I'm like, wait, so you're aware that Facebook is using you and is a terrible platform, but you're not willing to leave it. All right then. So yeah, it's all frustrating, the whole everything. But no, I mean, you're right. TikTok has some bad information there, but I'm like, at this point, I don't know how much it matters. I feel like our information is already out there. Facebook already screwed us all over so bad. Like it doesn't, even if you didn't have a Facebook account, if your family members have you as a Facebook account and have your number in their like thing as a contact, they know everything about all of us. Like it's disgusting what Facebook has done. I have a hard time imagining anyone being any worse than them. So, I mean, I may be wrong on that. I may someday regret those words and be like, oh, Facebook really wasn't anywhere near as bad as they were, but I don't know. So what I'm doing, I mentioned this last week. I am using my reference photo here, and you can see me color matching exactly the color I want. The thing that you want to watch, you guys can't see it. Hold on. I think this is actually important. The whole point was that you could see this. Oh, wow, I have to really minimize my screen to make that work. Hold on. I need to move some stuff around for just a moment. Can you see? No, you can't see enough yet. Hold on. Scooch a bit more. There we go. Man, I really had to mush stuff over. So anyway, the reason that I've got this out, what I'm doing is technically I almost want to say it's cheating, but it's also a good practice in learning color if you will pay attention to what you're doing. So what I'm doing is using a color match thing. So I've got my reference photo down here. Is my mouse? Yeah, you guys can see my mouse. And what I can do is touch this little box. Eyedropper comes up. I touch the area. I'm like, what color is that? I can touch it, and I can see now on here, look at how it's a lavender color. It's kind of a grayish tone, and it gives you an idea of the color. This is helpful for when you're then painting, kind of getting in the hang of what color is that? Is that more blue? Is that more orange? Is it gray? I think this can be really helpful if you're paying attention. What I'm doing, because I'm chatting with you guys, I'm not even paying, I don't really struggle with color typically, but I'm not really even paying attention to color. I'm just touching. I'm almost like paint by number. Touch here, match here. Touch here, match here. So it's not exact. This isn't the best. Well, this is not a best practice. This would be what I'm doing right now is very lazy. But if you're paying attention as you do that color matching, where is it up here? Where is that matching? Like here, I'm kind of in the middle here, so I've got a bit of a grayish tone in that lavender. I'm darker. A little bit more of the black is mixed in with it. And then when you look up here, it's like a violet. It's a reddish purple. It's not just like an orangey red. So these things can help you in getting the hang of your color matching if you're paying attention to it. But what I'm doing right now, like I'm coming through and going like touch, pick a color, add it, pick a color, add it. I'm not really even paying attention. So for a learning standpoint, I'm going so fast. If you were doing it that way, you're not really learning that much. But if you're going slow and you're paying attention to where the color you're choosing, like when you're looking at here going, is that more purple? Is it more blue? Looking up here, that is, I think, a great way to start getting the hang of what colors you're choosing. And that can be applied then to your other painting techniques. Let's see. Karina said, I can't do TikTok. Facebook is bad enough. They seem to be dumbing down the masses. Yeah, isn't that right? Well, social media, mainstream media, you name it, that is what they're all doing. It's disgusting. Maybe it's just the way of the world now. Yeah. This is coming from a person who doesn't own a TV. I don't have TV. I own TVs, but we'll watch like Netflix. Well, not that that's even better, but we'll watch stuff like that. But we don't even have TV. I couldn't justify paying for something neither one of us really like. And it's weird. You pay an insane amount for TV so you can watch advertisements. Pass. Joseph said, be careful covering your layers panel. That could be dangerous. What layers panel? Oh, good point, Joseph. You know what? I think I can actually pull this over here a bit. Am I even on the right one? Yeah, I'm good. That actually was a very good tip. Joseph is probably saving my sanity right now. Let's shrink you down a bit so I can still see chat. Okay. Yeah, it would be very easy to be on the wrong one there. Clark Fine Art said, I was trying to work in Photoshop today. Could not get that color picking window to pop up. It was definitely user error, but could not get it to come up. All you should have to do, hi Tarcisio. All you should have to do, see this little box up here? You've got those two boxes. Touch that one. That's it. There's my little color tool guy. It's just right next to that, the color thing there. Now, it is possible you can easily get like thing where you close all of that and have something go kind of wrong there. So you may have to look up how to pull it back up. Okay. Where am I? So we've got that guy has this purpley color. Let's go a little bit darker. So what I'm doing, the white lines that you're seeing all around there, did anyone else just have the white line song go through your head when I said that? Those are going to be removed once I get the main shading in here. Actually, it looks like, do I have, what do I have in here that I can see that I should not be able to? This. Okay, you should not be there. There we go. I had the base reference that we traced. Actually, that will just need to be deleted. We're done with it. Anemone reference. Actually, all of these can go. We don't need those at that point. Okay. Yeah, and I'm not sure how well the whole TikTok thing will go. It seems like with TikTok, you're reaching a younger crowd, and I'm not sure that's really my target audience. Well, I know that it's not. So it's kind of, what does that line go to? It's kind of, we'll see, but I definitely need to find a way to sort of diversify where my content is. I mean, MeWe and YouTube are my primary, obviously. I upload, and I need to upload some more stuff to Rumble. So that's kind of like a YouTube alternative, not as good. It doesn't have as many features. It's newer. I have a hard time imagining any platform though really doing well again, like compared to YouTube, because hosting video content is very expensive. It takes up a lot of space. And so for a company to do that, that's very expensive. So I have a hard time imagining any of them making enough doing that. Like, it seems like, because Google covered the cost of YouTube for a very long time, saving everyone's cat videos or random stuff that isn't making anyone any money. It's just taking up space. That costs money. So, whoops, I just scrolled that too far. That's the problem when you're all the way to the edge when you're shading stuff. It's kind of annoying. Anyway, So I don't know, like when you look at platforms like Rumble, I don't know if they will do well or not, but it's like, oh, it's not going to hurt to upload. I'm just copy pasting stuff over there. So I've got that one. Yeah, I'm just kind of looking at like what are other options, since I pretty much will not upload. And when I say pretty much, I mean I will not upload original content. Even with you or with Facebook, I won't even like, I have the neighborhood group. I have a fake account for that because I don't want anyone to know where I live. But even with that, I won't like someone's comment. I won't respond like someone asks a question. I will not participate, I should say, besides letting people know, hey, I'm over on this other platform. You can check out my content there. So I figured it'd be a good idea to have a few other locations. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I mean, my end goal, of course, is to get more people to like sign up for my lessons at Patreon or buy prints and such. So we'll see if that's something that will remotely work with. What is going on here? I don't have all my lines. With TikTok, because I do feel like it is a much, much younger crowd who uses it. I know that's the case for me. I feel too old using it as it is. I'm like, this is some of the stuff that people are posting are just so like, wow, I'm old, because wow, I'm just old. That's all I can say, because that is the best comment I can come up with in response to some of the crap I've seen people post. Let's see. Wow, Cats Are Pink said the rake brush I've been waiting for 3 months finally shipped out today. Yeah, wow, that took a long time. Cavium said the last week of high school, my teacher begged us to take a bunch of oil pastels home. I've been wanting to learn from Ohu, I apologize if I'm butchering that, Sia, on YouTube, but like you, the texture is so weird. Yeah, it is very odd. It's a cool thing, but I like oil pastels. My main complaint is that they just never dry. So that's kind of a weird thing. Let's see. Jared said, is this a painting or a mock-up of another painting you are doing in another medium? This is actually, this will be a painting. So let me pull this down so you can see where we are so far. It's a digital painting. Oops, wrong way. But I mean, I'm going through step by step, brush stroke by brush stroke, painting every little element in there. So it's a digital painting. It's not a mock-up or anything. And we're just picking one element. And like right now we're working on the anemone. We'll end up throwing some clownfish in there, but that'll be in the future. I want to get all the coral in first. So we'll zoom back in. But it'll be a finished, like for prints and everything, like it'll be a completed painting when we're done. It's just taking a long time. Joseph said, but the internet is powered by cat videos. Surely it all evens out in the end. Caviums, actually, I think the internet now is powered by trolls and people being jerks. I think it moved. I liked better when it was cat videos. Cavium said, character limit on here sucks sometimes, just like you said, when discussing oil pastels, the texture feels weird to me. Not saying you have a weird texture. I knew what you meant. Julie said, in the beginning, Google was using full computer servers to handle search algorithms and had extra drive space doing nothing for them. And so they had the do no harm motto that time. Yeah, notice they changed that, by the way. Jacqueline said, did your stylus come with your computer? I'm much older than you are. So this is a Wacom tablet that I'm working on. I know you can't really see it, but it's part of the whole thing. Like I've got the little remote that lets me zoom in and out or whatever other key bindings I put on it. And then the pen, so it's pressure sensitive and all that fun stuff. But yeah, it's like one system. Well, one system here, and then I have my computer. So this is hooked up to my actual desktop computer. Let's see. Everybody, Dr. B said, Lisa, this is looking good. Thank you. I'm homeschooling now as we are again in lockdown. So I'm not sure how long I can stay, but I will enjoy this while I can. Homeschooling, I think, is a great thing right now. I mean, I always said if I had kids, I would homeschool and then throw my pen on the floor. What a mess of a teacher I'd be. Ugh. Okay. So back to adding, and it's not even the colors that are that big of a deal here. I'm focused more, like I don't even know what this is. I'm more focused on my values, just getting that contrast with the lights and darks. Looks like we can even get a little bit of that aqua color back in. I'm just gonna pull whichever one from before. And I will definitely have to clean stuff up once these white lines are out, but I need to get a little bit more shading before I can pull them out. Otherwise I will lose my spot for sure. Just little bits here and there of that teal, which looks so good. I'm putting a bit more than what's in my reference photo. Actually, let's get a little bit more or a little bit bigger, and then also pull that opacity way down. Make it a little in here. So anytime, I know a lot of people have a tendency, I've said this on all of these videos, but a lot of people have a tendency to think when they hear of digital painting, they misunderstand it as photo manipulation, and that's really not what it is. And photo manipulation can be a very good thing for creating a style of art, but that's not what I'm doing here. Most of the time, when people say that they're doing a digital painting, this is what they're talking about. You're going through brush stroke by brush stroke. It is just a different medium. It's still art. People will joke, like, no matter what it is, anytime there's a newer medium that comes up, you always get someone who, I'll swear, like some Jack, and was not going to finish that with a proper ending. But they will like to say, I've heard people say when I've used an airbrush, joking or laughing at me, oh, you call that fine art? Or I can't, something about, I never thought I'd hear someone call airbrushing fine art. And it's like, I don't think the word fine art means what you think it, or words. The phrase fine art means what you think it means. But you will always, no matter what it is, have someone come in there telling you that you're wrong for doing it, that it's not real art. And it doesn't matter what medium it is you're working in, you will always get someone to do that. But say that. But the reality is, once you have a general idea of what is really the amount of work that really goes into each medium, you'll have a lot more respect for it. Just having that understanding. And I wish that more people realized how much goes into an actual digital painting. It's a lot of work. Oh, that's what the problem is. My opacity is so low. Joseph said, I had a high school science teacher that, as it turned out, was drinking screwdrivers all day. I'm sure you'd be better than her. Oh my God. Wow. Holy crap. Wow. I had a vet I worked for who was drinking, he was putting vodka in his water. He had a water bottle and he'd keep vodka in it. And he normally wouldn't, like, so they do the surgeries in the morning. Normally he was just hungover in the mornings, but then he'd go to lunch and come back wasted and drink all day. It was a lot of fun. His name was Dr. Vander. Dr. Vander was, I was going to swear again. I have no kind words for that man. Horrible human being. One of those people that just because you're a woman, he thinks that you are far below him and treated you as such. Like, he was one of those. That was not a fun man to work for. Absolutely horrible human being. Not to mention horrible vet, horrible everything. The owner of the animal hospital I worked at, it was friends, and I don't know if it was like their church or what. Dr. Khan had to keep him, like, he was supposed to be helping him, I guess. And so, like, the church members would show up sometimes, and they'd all have meetings, but, like, they all knew Dr. Vander had this drinking problem, and I guess they were trying to get that cleared up. This was, 20-something years ago. This was a very long time ago, so I don't even know if he's still around. But yeah, they basically would know he had these problems. He accused me. I left crying that place so often. He accused me because he got so wasted before he took off for the day. He didn't remember that he pulled, like, I did the deposit, that, like, cashed everything out, did all of the accounting and stuff. And you take and, like, the paper, it's all wrapped up with all of the calculations, the reports and everything to the doctor before you leave. Well, the next morning, all this money, like $600, was missing. And he said, I stole it. And I mean, they have the camera so they could tell that I didn't. He took it. He always took it. He took it, but he was so drunk, he didn't remember. And in his mind, I was a woman, so I was crap. And therefore, just blame her. Like, no biggie. It was ridiculous. I don't even know if it was that he was lying about not taking the money, or if he was so drunk he didn't remember taking it. It could go either way on that. Oh, I hated that man. Horrible human. Dr. Khan was really cool. I actually liked him. I'd like to get in touch with him and say hi. He was overall a really good guy. But he put up with and just defended, because he was like, I guess it was a church thing, just defended Dr. Vander. It sucked. Let's see. And Dr. Khan was the owner of the hospital, so it's like he had all the say and all that stuff. Let's see. Dog Groomer says, hello, I love your channel. You have helped me so much with learning techniques with pencils available, and I'm leaning towards other mediums. Let's see. Thank you. You're welcome. That's awesome. Yay. I'm getting everyone hooked on all the mediums. That's really cool. Suzanne said, finally made it to a live. Late, just joined your Patreon. Yay, you're the only person I ever considered for this. All. And I've joined MeWe. Yay, double yay, thank you. I'm excited. I actually got goosebumps. I need to do the Patreon group challenge still. I need to come up with one of those. I have not done this month's yet. So I've got to get that done. And then I need to figure out what lesson we should do for Patreon. I was going to do charcoal last week, but I ended up bumping the watercolor ahead. So I may do charcoal this week. So I have like a short project and then get started on a bigger project for the following week. I need to do some sort of marine life for behind here, but I also want to make sure I'm doing stuff that those of you on Patreon want. So really for behind my tank want sea turtles, I think. I mean, I don't know how many sea turtle paintings you guys really want over on Patreon. So yeah, I've got to figure out what that'll be pretty much a big, elaborate, something like this, but in acrylics. But I'm also trying to think, like, what other mediums have I not done lately? I wonder what this looks like without the lines. Oh my gosh, that's a hot mess. Come back, lines. Keep shading. Now I'm getting to where I'm only slightly going by the reference photo. Like, I'm not copying it exactly. Kind of close. You. There's a deep shadow somewhere. Wait, what are you? You should have green, but you're not the one I'm looking at. This isn't even the same. I don't even know what I've drawn in here. Okay, wait, there's you. There's you. Okay, this is where I need a deep shadow. I'll go even darker. So one of the things that'll happen a lot of times, like right now, the tool that I'm using would be the equivalent of like an airbrush tool. And when you're working with stuff like this in digital painting, it's really easy to have everything, like when I pull those lines out, look how everything's all fuzzy and it just isn't, it looks absolutely terrible. The thing with digital, you want to make sure that you are taking the time to clean those up and sharpen everything. So right now I'm just doing those base layers of shading before I come on top with the detail. But the thing that'll separate, make your work really start looking good when you're doing digital painting is cleaning those up. Don't leave everything looking all fuzzy, because that's a very, very common thing I see when people are, it's what I did when I was new to digital painting. It was terrible. Cavium said, speaking of misogyny, from your perspective, have you seen as much misogyny in the art world as you expected or as seen in other careers? See, I'm not the best one to ask for that because I don't think it's normally as big of a problem as people want to make it out to be. And then I got all the thumbs downs. I don't, in this country. Now, it's going to be different from location to location, completely different. It'll be different from the age group that you're in. So like my mom dealt with it a lot. Like I know I watched it because I remember being sick a lot and going to her work, and she had bosses who would grab her inappropriately, and she had some serious like bad stuff. So my age group and younger, I really don't, I've just not experienced it. I mean, now I work for myself, so that's not really an issue, but it's not something that I think the media likes to make us hate each other as much as possible. And people want to feel like they have a cause from the 50s and that it's still the 50s and things are absolutely terrible. I'm not saying stuff like that doesn't happen. I think it depends on the age group you're in and the area you're in. There, there's other factors. But I just am not one who sees a monster under every bed. I guess that's a way to put it. I think some people are looking to see it. And when you look to see something, you'll see things even if it's not there because you're looking so hard for it. You want it to be there. And I feel like that happens a lot. So then going into the art world, I've told this story several times. I knew an artist who felt that the reason, and I'm not saying it was never the case. It can certainly happen sometimes, but I've seen it happen to men too from the flip side. I think that people can just be kind of people-y and be weird about things. So I knew an artist who was certain that the reason that people weren't interested in her booth, like she would do an art show or whatever, when they found out it was a woman who ran the booth. She didn't look at the big picture. She was too focused on, she decided that this monster under the bed was the only possible reason that people were not interested in her booth when she found out she was the artist. What would happen is her husband would be at her booth and people would be talking to him and they'd think he was the artist and he'd go, no, it's her. And she'd come walking up and they're like, oh. And then they were just not really interested. I don't think it was because she was a woman. I think it's because she was so average looking. You know, she's just there in her leggings and t-shirt and not like anything interesting. Whereas her husband's wearing a vest and a top hat, like a weird, not a top hat, but like a weird hat. He has a handlebar mustache and he looks like the image we want to think of as an artist, this very unique character, this not average looking person. And so I think a lot of times people are, and like I said, I'm not saying it never happens, but I think that a lot of times people are so too busy looking for the monster that they're missing the reality of what the situation is. And in her case, like, what if she dressed up like he does, you know, wearing something from that different time period? Make herself look more unique, everyone will accept her just fine, because my experience at art shows, it made no difference. Like when you go to booth and watch how people react to different artists and different people, the ones who play a role, the ones who have put on this character, those are the ones who get the attention. It didn't matter if it was male or female. And so this girl, because she was so certain it was because she was a woman, she wasn't even able to see how she could potentially better herself. She wanted to look at why she was being held down or ignored, when really she was missing the bigger picture, because she was so focused on the monster under the bed that she was sure was there, that in this case wasn't. So I don't know that I'm the best person, because I kind of I'm always looking at the big picture. If we focus in general in life on things that are holding us back, things that we can't control, let's put it that way. If we focus on the things in our life that we don't have control over, gender, if you focus on that, it's very hard for you to find a solution that gets you ahead, that fixes the problem, that creates finds the solution you're looking for. So like in this case, she completely missed out on, if she would have dressed up like her husband did, problem would have been solved. I guarantee you, because she's an amazing artist. People would have been interested. If she's going there wearing leggings and a t-shirt, she just looks like the average person. But she missed it because she thought it was something out of her control, when it was in fact something very within her control to adjust. So that's, I think something that we need to consider as artists in any aspect of our life. I mean, I'm not saying that these things don't happen. I'm saying when we put so much focus on it, we sometimes miss out on what the real cause is. But going back to your thing about like experiencing it, in my case, no, not even the only thing I've experienced where I could blame it on, people being like guys being pigs, occasionally you'll get comments that are super inappropriate. So I have seen that, and that's just more of an internet / mostly a YouTube thing. I've had some pretty horrible things said to me, just because a guy thought that made him sound tough, or who knows. I don't even know why they say some of this stuff, like real dirty stuff. So I've had stuff like that. And I have another female friend who's she's got a bigger channel than mine. Some of the stuff that they send her, holy crap. So I would say in that aspect, yes. But as far as being taken seriously as an artist, I've really not seen it as being an issue. And of course, this is all anecdotal. So keep that in mind. But, I'm not saying that there aren't people who behave inappropriately or treat someone badly because they're a woman or a man or whatever. It goes both ways. Trust me, it goes both ways. But yeah, no, I haven't seen it. It hasn't affected me. We'll go that way at all. I don't think I've benefited Amelia's running by, my jumping spider, but I don't think it's hurt or helped me. Nick said, I just remembered that you wanted me to remind you about doing a Patreon critique live stream. That was quite a few weeks ago, and I'm just remembering it now. I clearly failed. I need to do that. Yes, we do need a Patreon critique. And I'll probably do that as like that week's lesson will be a Patreon. Like I'll just take in everyone's submissions and we'll go through on and do a critique on that. I need to do that, which actually buys me a week on getting another project done. I can put more work into another project because 1 week I'll be off. Like, yes, I like it. Hi, Bina from India. Scrolling. Oops, I just lost my Photoshop. Come back. There we go. Cavium said, that's what I like about art. It really doesn't matter who makes the art, but it matters more about the art itself, and you can't just move your way up because of you. Your skill does. Yes and no. I do think with art, it is important to showcase you and let the viewer, the customer, whoever, get to know the artist. That, I think, is a very important thing. A lot of artists do have the more attitude, I just want the art to speak for itself. And it's like, you're going to do better if you also let the artist show through. Let the artist be. The artist is a part of the art, not just in the finished painting, but your personality is part of why. Okay, let's be realistic. Any single thing I paint, somebody else has done something very similar. All of us can say that. Most of the time. I'm not even sure about zombies now. But, you know, for the most part, there's someone. So how do we then separate? Why would someone buy from me versus that artist? I need to sell myself into that art. You're buying it because you want to market yourself and it as well as the art. You want to be a part of that. So art, you do want to be a part of it. But I don't think, I mean, at least not in this area. And there are definitely areas in this world that this is not the case. So you have to keep in mind, I am coming from here, like, I've been very blessed to be here in the US where that's not been, in this day and age, I should say, because there was a time it was an issue, ask my mom, but in this day and age where it doesn't affect me like that. So, but I do think that who the artist is matters too in like being successful as an artist. It's both your name and your art, but it also, anybody can do it. Like we don't have a mold that the artist has to fit. Ideally, weird. Weird is good. The more unique you are and that you let your unique weirdness show through, the better off you are. Like this girl, she's normal. There's nothing like that really stands out one way or another about her. If you walk down the street, she wouldn't stand out. She just looks like everybody else. And I think that was the problem. She didn't look unique. So if you have anything about yourself that's weird, like you're doing an art show or whatever else, be weird, be yourself. I think that that's a good thing. Or even just selling online, letting your weirdness show through, I think can really help a sale. People want artists to be weird and unique. So I think that that's a really good thing. If there is something that is somewhat different about you, like scream that part about yourself from the rooftop. Rooftops? I don't know. You're not here for grammar. Karina said, have you heard of me tan sanded paper in multi-tones? I have a big pad of it. I'm trying to work out how to use it correctly. So far, polychromos and blending fluid are working. I have not. Don said, how talk bad you to you, not me. Oh, what? I'm sorry, Don. I have no idea what that, you may not even be talking. Oh, you're probably not talking to me. I'm probably reading it from somebody else. I should pay attention. I am not tagged in that. Okay, let's see. Notice on this guy, I think what's really interesting too, this whole section has this warmer glow to it. Back here, this area, we get more of the purples, and it really helps get you a little bit more depth to these guys. Cavium said, again, character limit makes me want to pull my hair out. Character limit doesn't matter in the sense that there's no limitations. Anyone can make art, creativity, and originality excels. Yes, absolutely. Hi, Monica. Yeah, that character limit got me. It wasn't this week because I missed this week with Joseph's live stream, but I was writing something and it hit me on that too. I'm like, oh, this is what you guys have to deal with. Let's see. This guy's actually really dark here. I start getting a lot more of these purples in here. Yes, please, if you can hit the like button, share this video. When it's over, if you come back and leave a comment, like in the comment section, that will help more people to be able to find it, just based on how the YouTube algorithm works. I'm going to use more of this lavender type color back here, and that really separates this warmer one in front of it. It's more muted too. Hi, Angie's Creative Studio. Janet said, have a question that may sound crazy, but do you think it's beneficial to have a website? Selling art in a local shop, Facebook, and word of mouth. Wondering if it's important. Oh, I love this question. Like, probably 5 or 6 of you at least just rolled your eyes like, oh God, here she goes again. Yes, have a website. This is one of the most important things you can do. Facebook, not your website. Facebook, if you're not aware what Facebook did, we'll use myself as an example, and so many people have the exact same story as me. And when I say so many, I'm talking thousands. Look online. So back this year, this is what kind of got me started on the Facebook thing. First off, Facebook sucks because only about 3% max of your followers will ever see your posts unless you pay to advertise. So that's an issue, and it is not cheap to advertise. So that's definitely a bad side. And back in, when was that? February, January? I don't even remember. March? It was March. Yeah, it was March. Facebook, I log in one day and I get a notification popping up saying they need me to do this facial recognition thing where you have to put my phone in front of me and it'll be like, turn your head to the left, turn your head to the right in order to log in. And I'm like, oh, I got hacked. Crap, something went wrong. I must have clicked something on accident, somehow I got hacked. No. Facebook decided, and I don't even know if it was a legitimate, like they really thought I might have been, I was spamming people or whatever in order to keep the community safe. And I have a video, you can watch this. So I read all of the emails back and forth with them. But the long story short, they banned my account that I have had in good standing. I don't comment on politics. I am not mean to anybody. I stay out of all drama completely. And they banned my account. Done. I may, if I submit to their turn your head to the left, turn your head to the right, facial recognition. What do you need facial recognition? Oh, and my ID. They need my actual ID, my driver's license number. Well, not driver's license, mine's an ID, but in order to get my account back. Now, if I were an average person, I'm probably like just an average user, I'd be like, screw you, I'm not doing that. But in my case, I'm like, crap, this is my business. I need access to my business page. So I went ahead and went through the process. It took a few days. I did get my account back. And it turned out through all of this, their algorithm screwed up. So it wasn't like they were mad at me, I got in trouble or whatever, screw up on their algorithm. So here's the thing. There was no way for me to contact them to fix this. They just poofed, account gone. If I were in the middle of talking to a client, I couldn't message them anymore. If I were talking to Fredericks, like one of the brands that that sponsor me, they would have assumed I was involved in some kind of, getting involved in politics. Because what happens when you know someone who says they lost their account? Because it's probably the same thing I did. My first thought is always, you probably got involved in politics and said something, a naughty word or something that they, something along those lines. No, I did none of that. I am so careful because it's my business. I stay out of all that online. And that's what really got me realize, it just proved the point that I've had forever. If that was the only place that people could contact me, how that would have sucked. In my case, I've got my website. I've got an email list. I have other places people can find me. I made a YouTube video. I had other places for people to find me, but it's that you can't trust another platform as your sole. That's not your website. You don't have control over it. They decide to get rid of you for no reason. Nothing you can do. No one you can even contact. So no, you absolutely want your own website. Another aspect you may not have considered. For me, if I'm looking to invest money in a painting, and if I'm going to go through a specific artist, it's probably going to be somebody who I think will build a name for themselves. They're going to go somewhere with this. If they do not have a website, I can pretty much safely assume, they're not taking their business that serious. They're not planning to really go all the way with this career. They will lose a sale. In my case, I would probably not bother if they don't have a website for me to look at. That website is the one thing you control. You are completely in control of that, where you are not in control of Facebook or Instagram, who is owned by Facebook. So it's the same thing. It's why you may have noticed I don't really use Instagram anymore either. The only time I do Facebook or Instagram is when I let you guys know I'm on YouTube or any other platform. But I've had it with the fact that they only, even when my account is active, I can only reach 3%. What's the point? Why am I wasting my time? I post on MeWe. I may not have as many followers, but 100% of people see that if they're online that day. not the case with Facebook. Unless you can post something that is full of drama, oh, they'll share that. Facebook they like the drama that gets the interaction. Their algorithm's like, oh, look, people are commenting. They like it. Let's show that to more people. So if I do log into Facebook, I'm seeing arguments from a week ago, not new posts from today. No, they want to keep throwing that argument in your face. You just can't get away from the negativity. That's not the case on like MeWe that doesn't have that algorithm. So I know that doesn't really go into your question, but yes, you need to have a website. You need something that is yours that you control. It is so important. And Facebook is not your website. Etsy is not your website. eBay is not your website. Because a lot of people use that. Oh, like I've got my account over here, or Instagram, or what are the other ones that people will think? Different places that they sell. Fine Art America. Fine Art America actually, and I don't like this on that. This is where I sell my prints. And they actually have a thing where they put on there when you do a search, the official Lachri Fine Art website. It's not my official website. It's where I sell prints, but it is not my official website. That wouldn't even be your website because that's Fine Art America's. Fine Art America, I couldn't log into my account for the last several years. I think like 2018, 2017. I don't know. It was the last time I was able to get in until just recently. I finally contacted them through Facebook. I emailed them so many times. I emailed their customer support. They never get back to me. No number to call, no one to deal with. So now they had this Facebook group, so I was able to post there, and I finally got somebody to reset my password and I can get in. I've not been able to get in years. I mean, I get paid when somebody orders something. So I'm just like, I don't have time to deal with this today. And I just kept letting it go. And that's on me. But yeah, that's not my website, not in my control, not your website. You need your own actual website. One, people are going to take you more seriously. Two, it is the one place you can control that people always know they can go back and find you if your account disappears on Facebook. Plus, I'm hoping Facebook goes the way of, what was it? MySpace. Chances are, companies come and go, and I'm hoping that Facebook is seeing its time soon, because Facebook has just, my coaster fell. Facebook is they've kind of shot themselves in the foot a few too many times. I think people are starting to realize that. Unfortunately, too many people are sheep and refuse to ever leave Facebook, not precious Facebook. So there's that. But yeah, no, absolutely have a website. Definitely beneficial. Jacqueline said, I learned so much from you in so many mediums. Thank you so much. I even learned about frogs and spiders. So cool. Yay! Angie's Creative Studio said, I totally agree with you on learning so much. Aw, thank you guys. Yeah, we definitely need, like, the website thing is such a big deal. Susan said, do you need to be aware of who is hosting your website? There are a couple of shady operations. Or you do need, yes, absolutely. Like GoDaddy, run. A lot of these cheap budget type sites are really, really shady. And they have a tendency to do things like saying that you were late on your bill and then charging they're holding you hostage. They'll say, even if you paid on time, they'll say you were late on paying your domain name, and then you have to pay hundreds or thousands to get it back. GoDaddy actually bought LachriFineArt.com and tried to sell it to me. F off. Like, that is not happening. I have Lachri.com. I don't need that. I was surprised they didn't buy LachriMerch.com. I was kind of like surprised and happy when it was available, when I realized I would like that URL. So yeah, their GoDaddy is just a horrible, horrible company. I cannot stand them. And they have just such a bad reputation for screwing over their own clients, which is funny considering where their origins started. I won't go further into that because we're getting into it's inappropriate. But yes, you are absolutely correct. You need to be aware of the company that you use. So we're starting to get some of these shadows in here. It is a long process. And with digital painting, there are certain things, like you can use different brushes that will like make clouds go faster, or make something like that go faster than if you were using a traditional brush. But for the most part, most of what you're doing, it's just like normal painting, just actually painting it. I just keep bringing that up because I want more and more people to realize this is a legitimate art form. It's not digital manipulation. You can see as I paint in here every little brush stroke. Jacqueline said, do you use a FTP? FTP. Oh, God, what was that? That was some kind of file, something. If I remember what that was from, it was like back years and years and years ago. Now everything is set up through WordPress, and so I don't have to use any of the coding, if that's what you mean. There may be something else you're talking about, though, that I'm completely missing. I mean, I used to set my whole website up in HTML, and you used that. Yeah, you used a lot of different things like that, but not now. It's like so copy, paste, drag and drop type thing, and with templates. So it's very different than it used to be on building a website. So much easier. Yeah, file transfer protocol. Nope. Not that I'm aware. I mean, the website may be doing it, but it's not something that like on the end of what I'm editing through WordPress now, it's not even something I'm aware of if it is something that's being handled in the back end, if that makes sense. Yeah, I forgot half this stuff. Like I used to know the HTML for most stuff, and it's been so long I probably wouldn't even remember it. I used to have all the like HTML for Dummies books when I was learning how to do it back on my old Angel Fire website. Are any of you old enough to remember that? I think my old website was like, what was it? angelfire.com/stars/Lachri. And then I think I had another one that was like /art/Lachri. I don't know. They were really old. It was really funny. I had like flashing stars all over the place and thought it was so like little swimming dolphins and things that were just so obnoxious. Music. I think I had the My Little Pony music on it for a while. Websites sure have come a long way. But now everything, using it with WordPress, everything's just much, much easier. Geocities, I did not have that. I think Geocities, was that before or after Angel Fire? Or was it at the same time? I don't remember. I remember the name, but I didn't have one. And all the AOL stuff. Janet said, building a website is way over my head. Where do I start? So you've got a few options. WordPress is fairly easy, and there are a ton of tutorials on YouTube walking you through step by step what to do. So what you're going to do is set up templates, and you really just drag and drop. I would follow a lesson on YouTube. I think would be the easiest. Just like pick somebody who's popular, who's got good reviews, who's a bigger channel, obviously, because then they know they've probably been doing this long enough or have enough followers that they clearly know what they're doing. But that's a good way to go. But you can also set one up through like, what are the ones? You can do the free sites, but I would do a paid one so you don't have their advertisements all over. It makes you look kind of not as professional. It's better than nothing, but there was one that actually wanted me to do things with them, but they're marketing people I was not impressed with. So anyway, the website itself is probably fine though. I'm trying to think, somebody list them. I can't think of them off the top of my head. Yeah, Wix and Weebly, those are the two. I think, I don't remember which one it was that had contacted me, and they wanted me to like change my website. They wanted my website to be on their platform. And I was like, I'll do a video. I thought it'd be cool to do a video and build a website for you guys, start to finish, and we do it as a live stream. He didn't want that. He wanted more of a tutorial, and he wanted it to be my new website. Like, why would I make that my website when my website is superior to your website, like whatever? He's like, well, I don't think it is. Okay, well, that's not how to convince me. Let's not insult me. It's actually award-winning. I have an award-winning website. So, yeah, I was not impressed with their marketing guy, that's for sure. And they had, they kind of pissed me off. But anyway, was that, I think it was Wix. Or was it Weebly? I don't know. I don't remember which one. But you can do something like that as well. There are kind of drag and drop builder websites, whatever, that you can use. I definitely prefer WordPress. It's a bit there. It's certainly more complicated. So the pros of using something like Wix or Weebly, you're not worrying about updates. You're not worrying about a lot of that stuff. Whereas sometimes when you're doing stuff with WordPress, you may use a plugin that has issues and doesn't play nice with another plugin. If you're using Wix or Weebly or one of those, you don't have to worry about any of that. EOS Live said, you know anything about Squarespace? Which one is Squarespace? That's not the payment one. No, I'm thinking Stripe. No, I don't. I don't know anything. Okay, Wix was the one who pissed me off. Thank you, Starving Artist Collective. I couldn't remember. And I'm sure the website is fine for what you wanted to do. It was the marketing people who wanted me to do the video for them. The way they handled that was kind of poorly done. My cup keeps sticking to my coaster. Did I break it yet? No. What is all over? Huh. Left something on the floor. It did finally chip. Not surprised. What about FASO for a website? I don't know what that one is. So I certainly don't know all of them. That's I'm not familiar with whatever is like the current like other options out there right now. I know, not super helpful. As it turns out, as much as I'd like to think I know everything, I just don't. Let's see, get more shading in here. Trying to define these a bit more. I'm about ready to go ahead and pull these lines out and start cleaning everything up. I'm on the right layer, right? Okay, good. That just scared me. I thought I wasn't for a second there. Monica said, as far as an actual website goes, I like that Wix only has one made advertisement for their site and it doesn't distract from other content. Yeah, if you're going to go with a free one, I mean, that is definitely good. But if you're serious with your art, I would definitely, okay, I think you can do as little, it's under $10 a month. So normally I recommended EMWD, but the guy who owned it, he passed. And so I don't know. I know the wife is trying to sell it. I don't know what's going on with that. So I don't know that I would say, hey, you should go sign up for this one now. I probably should pull that off my website. Because I don't know where that's going. That's definitely one of the downsides with using a smaller company. If the owner passes, that was your customer service. That was everything. And now, yeah, it kind of puts you in a bit of a weird situation there. And it sucks because he was the best. That guy had the best customer service. But anyway, let's see. I want to say I pay more because my website gets too much traffic. So I know, poor me, right? So it's very expensive to keep it going fast enough that it doesn't take a year for something to load. But you can do it for most people, like under $10 a month for your own website, no advertisements. You have to buy a thing. I want to say, so I've got my templates I paid for from Elegant Themes, and it's the Divi, their template or like pack, and it's, what did I pay? Like $225, something like that. I forget what it was, something like that. And it gave me lifetime access to all of their products and support. And it's amazing. And I love it. The problem with Divi, the only thing that I would say is kind of a negative is it's very easy. Like one person can use it to have the most gorgeous website and somebody else can use it and have really bad taste and make poor choices and make it look horrible. So it gives you almost too many options in some cases. Whereas if you go with something like Wix or Weebly, you're pretty guaranteed everything's going to, they simplify it more for you. You don't have as many options, but it is definitely simplified. So, everything has pros and cons, but it's not super expensive to have your own. Like I said, it was under $10 a month, I think, for my guy when he was with us. See, we need some more orange in here. make that a little less opaque. Clark Finer said, so true. Divi is very easy, and EMWD is the best host provider. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know if you were aware. I think you were aware. He died last year, the owner of EMWD. So I don't know how that's going to, like, we'll see who buys it and how that goes. Because I believe I heard the wife was selling, she sent out a thing saying she was selling or like looking for a buyer for it. So she's got another company who is managing it right now. I haven't had any reason to contact them, but yeah, that's certainly a bit of a concern. So I don't know how that's going to be going forward. I feel like super bad even complaining about it. I'm like, a guy lost his life and I'm over here worried about my website. One of these things is not nearly as important as the other. Susan said, have you heard of Squarespace website development? I don't really know a lot about them at all, so I can't comment there. I certainly don't know all of the options available to everybody. I mean, I've been with mine for, gosh, about 20 years now. Ooh, I almost spilled coffee on my desk again. I did that a few weeks ago. Oh, I made such a mess. I didn't quite hit the coaster and it got under the, it was not fun to clean up at all. Not one of my finer moments. I'm such a klutz. It really sucks. So I'm a klutz all the time. Like I'm just drinking coffee right now and I'm knocking things over and this is my life. Those of you who are like 80s and 90s will know this reference, but my family used to call me Kelly Bundy because, well, my hair was my natural color when I was younger. The blonde looked like it was bleached. It was like bright blonde. And that was just naturally. And I walk into doors. My balance has always been really, really bad. And so, I mean, I would have bruises on my arms because I was constantly hitting the doorknobs of doors, or I hit my, this I still do. I walk into door frames. I don't quite hit it right. And my shoulder will like slam into the door. Like I'm always bouncing off stuff. So it's really bad. I've been places where like I'm having a glass of wine or whatever, and I do my normal knocking something over and everyone looks at you and acts like you've been drinking too much. I'm like, I haven't even taken a single sip yet. This is my natural state of being. But it's always a little embarrassing. Clark Finer said, I did not see that, but I have contacted them recently and they were on top of everything very quickly. Oh, good. I don't know if they ended up finding someone to buy it out. I hope that they did, and I hope the wife is set for life. And that's very sad. Like it's weird because it's like I used to talk to him about, he played Warcraft and like, he's just such a cool guy. It's weird to think he's not with us now. And I think he was like my age. He was not that, well, I mean, I'm old, but I'm not that old. Yeah, he had posted he was going into the hospital, and then, yeah, that was it. Okay, more positive points of conversation now. Peach. Where did I want that to go? I just color matched that from, oh, here we go. Cat's Heart Pig said, have you done any videos on how to show depth in a painting or drawing? I mean, I talk about that in general all the time. Like, it's kind of a point of a lot of my videos is just talking about tips, but I don't have like a standalone one for that. Susan said, I have a spasm attacks where my limbs will just jerk all of a sudden, which is very inconvenient when trying to draw or carry a cup of coffee, etc. Mine was that it will let go. Like it hasn't happened in a while, but it was really bad when I was younger. I would be holding something and my hand was like, nope, you're done with that. And you just let go. And it's like, I used to work at a pizza place. There was a place in Southern California. It was called William Pie Pizza. It was so good. But anyway, that was like one of my first jobs. And I would be filling, I remember filling the root beer or filling beer and filling it and my hand just going, no more, let's it go. Like, why? Why did you just let that go? It was really annoying. And of course I get to clean it up if I wasn't wearing it. But yeah, I've been made fun of my whole life for being so clumsy. And I don't think about it if I'm like just drinking coffee. It's just for some reason it's always annoying or kind of embarrassing if you have like you're having wine and people assume you just drank a lot. I'm like, I haven't had a single sip yet. Like it has nothing to do with that. Let's see. Oh man, that looks bad. Let's separate this a little bit, and I think we're getting to the stage. Let's go ahead and start defining stuff a bit better now. It looks kind of neat when you've got those white lines, and as soon as I take that away, man. Are you still down there, Gibson? Oh no, he left. Thought I just rolled over his paw. And it turned out it was my imagination. I rolled over my imagination. Okay, I think that's probably okay. I'm gonna get rid of those lines and I'm gonna do a detailed layer on top of this. So I can right off the bat see a few things I want to adjust with pushing the purples back in the background and pulling the brights up front. So let's get another layer in here. New layer, and I'm going to call this Anemone detail, top, whatever. Detail and top. And on this layer, we start defining stuff because right now that is a hot, fuzzy mess. And this is the fuzziness that I've been talking about where you don't want to leave it this way. Hold on, my husband's going to start working. Let's close this before we listen to him. But you don't want to leave it all fluffy like this. We want to start defining things better. It's kind of like when you use an airbrush in general. It's very easy to get things to look fuzzy, but you have to go back and define it better. Clark Finder said, that still happens to be with fibromyalgia. I have tossed paintbrushes unexpectedly, dropped drinks and other random objects when it comes with a spasm. It looks like I tossed. Yep. Angie's Creative Studio said, understand dropping things with my left hand. It just lets go of everything. I hate going through a drive-through because who knows how much I have dropped. Eo said, coral looks pretty good to me. We'll get there. It will. Well, technically the anemone's not coral, so the rest of the coral looks good. He's actually an invertebrate. Random tip there, or fact there. Joseph said, maybe don't remove the white lines, but change the layer opacity to overlap or screen. Well, I'm going to do it a little bit different in general. They're too much everywhere. I don't want that much definition. Some areas I do want softer, so I think I'm going to... Look at you trying to get fancy on me. Nick said, maybe consider leaving the lines when you zoom out. They provide just a bit of a definition. Yeah, no, I think I'm gonna put my own. Because I don't want them evenly everywhere like what I had. I'd have to come through and erase some, or I just come on top with some highlights and shadows and now better define stuff that I can see. So let's see. I'm going to switch more to a hard brush instead of that round. I still need to go a lot smaller though. And let's start getting some of these edging and highlights. There's one color. Yeah, let's go with you for some of this. Let's see how I can make it fade this way, whereas with the white lines, it's just evenly white everywhere. And that is definitely not the look that I'm really going for. So this gives me a bit more control. It's like the light hits here, but it's not going to continue up that way. So this is what I mean by not just wanting it completely outlined. Let's see, which one were you? I don't even know what you were. This is this. Okay. There we go. That's what I'm missing there. And this one just comes down. Let's see. Overlay option would do just that. Meh, I'm fine. This'll work. A little bit lighter on that. You can tell I'm thinking too hard when I stop talking, because it is not often I stop talking, like in life in general. I'm going to do what Joseph does and scare the crap out of everyone and just randomly start talking after like 10 minutes of silence. Actually, I really like this lighter peach color. That shows up really nicely. I haven't even been looking at the fish. I meant to be keeping an eye on them. I'm not sure. So fish story time. So my reef fish, if you've not been around, I have a saltwater tank, fairly, well, large to me, but when you are in like saltwater groups, it's actually considered a medium size, which is crazy to me because it seems gigantic. It's 83 gallons. But I bought some fish from, so I had the idea that if I bought pre-quarantined fish, I would not have to deal with fish parasites. And I knew that the chances of getting a parasite, it still can happen. But I thought, I'm minimizing the risk so much. What are the chances? It's me. I shouldn't have had to deal with parasites with my red-eye tree frogs, and we all know how that went down. So I ended up with gill flukes. Well, I didn't. My gills are fine. My fish, however, because I put the new fish in with them, ended up with gill flukes. I will never, ever, ever, lesson learned, ever. I don't care who quarantined it, put a fish directly in my main tank again. Ever. Any new fish will always go into a holding tank from here on out for a minimum of a month to make sure, even if it was pre-quarantined, like stuff just gets through. It's not even like I'm saying that the person who quarantined did a bad job. Stuff gets through sometimes. And in this case, gill flukes. Now, luckily, the only fish I've lost so far was the one that brought it in, the Banggai cardinal. So in looking back, I now know why he was tipping sideways. I think his gill was bugging him because the gill flukes. But anyway, I didn't recognize it. I'd never dealt with that before. So moving on with my story, I treated them. You're supposed to only treat them once. And then again, and you can treat the medication, the Prezi-Quanto, I can't say it, that you treat it once, treat it again a week later, should be done. But the reality is, if it didn't work when the guy quarantined it, chances of that probably these are just resistant to that medication. So I treated them the first day. Then a week goes by, and the day before I was to treat them, you could tell those fish were suffering. They're like going sideways. They're scratching like crazy. Like it was bad. So I treated again, but that day I forgot to take out one of the filters, which meant the medication couldn't have had a chance to work as well as it should have. Well, crap. No way of knowing how much medication, so I had to treat again. Well, I decided I was going to go like all in and go crazy strong on the treatment the next time through. So I did it 72 hours apart, max you could do. I did it 4 treatments in a row after that, 72 hours apart each time. And I don't know if it worked yet. Like we're now on day 5 from the last treatment. And yesterday they were definitely itching a lot. Today, I've not seen them, but I forgot. I meant to be keeping an eye on them while I work tonight. They don't seem to be itching as much today as they did yesterday, which I'm thinking is a good sign. No one looks uncomfortable. My plan at this point is if they get itchy, the next treatment, the medication I ordered online. Oh, is that what came earlier? I think it's here. That might have been what came. Something came and then I was like half asleep and not paying attention. But anyway, and this is what's kind of funny. The medication that is like one of the backup medications if the other one didn't work is the same medication that finally cured my tree frogs of their parasites. There's another name for it, but it's essentially Panicure. So it's a dewormer. But they can't be treated in the main tank. I have to catch them. They're in an 83-gallon tank with a lot of rock. That's not going to be fun. But I have to set up these quarantine tanks. I need to post there's a fish forum it's like the best fish forum. I love it. It's called Humble Fish. Humble.fish. Just search Humble Fish. If you keep reef fish, this website has the most knowledgeable people and the most helpful people when it comes to parasites or any problems with your fish. And they're just I love them. They're so helpful. So anyway, I need to post because I don't totally understand setting. I have a quarantine tank, but it's only enough for my clownfish, but they have to be put in a sterile one after treated. I don't even know how, like, what do you do then? You can't cycle it. There's no time. I don't know. I have to ask them how to do this whole quarantine thing. But anyway, I'm waiting. I'm kind of watching them like, is anyone still super itchy today? Because they were pretty bad yesterday. And you could see the firefish, they were holding their gills out. So they can be itchy for a while after treatment just because their gills are healing from the parasite that came out. So it's normal for them up to a week later. But I'm like, oh, we're getting late into this and they're still itching. That concerned me. But I don't know. That today, it seems like they're doing better, but I haven't had as much time to watch them. I meant to keep an eye on them as we were drawing tonight. Anyway, that's a random story no one cares about. But you're going to hear about it anyway. So yeah, I'm kind of waiting to see, are they going to need further treatment? My plan is if they do start flashing, like if they start getting worse, I'll go ahead and use the Pro again in this tank. And I was causing a bacterial bloom in this tank too by using it too much, but it's cleared up now because of the filtration that I put back in, but it's going to have to come. I can treat them in there, make them comfortable while I have time to get their quarantine set up. But yeah, it's really annoying. Cat's Heart Bake said, is the medication expensive? Yeah, kind of. I mean, it depends on what you consider expensive. I want to say I paid like $35 for the second bottle of Pro. I probably paid $15 for the first bottle, like the little bottle, because I had bought it to have on hand. I didn't think I'd use it that much. Oh yeah, I'm glad I bought the big bottle. But the one that I ordered, the Panicure, it was like $45 for, I forget how much I ordered. So yeah, it's not horribly expensive. It's not free, that's for sure. The problem, it's not even so much the medication. It's the cost of the quarantine I have to have set up too, because I can't just throw the medication in the tank. I've got coral in there. So the thing that gets annoying, I've got to go buy other tanks. So I have to have those tanks set up. I have to have the filters for that. I have to have a heater for that. I have to have the power heads for that. Like, you have to have a lot of stuff. So it's going to get expensive. I do not have the money for this right now. So I'm so friggin' broke. So yeah, it's certainly an added expense I would rather not have right now. The medication is probably the cheapest part of the whole drama. And the thing that's annoying is, like, and I thought I was safe buying from somebody else that quarantined. I mean, I've learned my lesson. It was a good lesson to learn, and it could have been a much worse disease that was harder to get rid of. So, and it could have killed them faster. So I should be grateful for that. But there are too many fish to put in quarantine altogether. So I'm going to have multiple quarantine tanks. Like, it's just, it's annoying. It's going to be work. And so I'm just kind of like, please be done. I'm really hoping that my really like aggressive treatment with the Pro worked, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not seeing anyone super itchy today. Yesterday was much worse than what I've seen so far today. But like I said, I haven't had too much time to sit in front of them and watch. Do these digital paintings get printed on paper or as a giclée on canvas? It could be either. You can have them printed on like any way that you want to go. So I will have this over on Fine Art America, and that gives the buyer the option to do it on canvas, to do it on paper. Like, they can do it, have it printed however they really want. The buyer gets the choice in that case. But I could also do it as a giclée. It's the same as having any other like painting printed. You send the file into wherever you're having printed, and there you go. Cat's Art Pick sounds a lot of work, but well worth it in the end. You'll get there with more tanks. Oh, you're right. I will say that forum, though, that Humblefish forum. So I was telling my husband about this. Or we were talking about this last night. I stress myself out so bad about stuff, and especially the fish, like, make my stomach sick level stressed. When my clownfish are the ones that I'm most worried about. I mean, I've had them for 2.5 years. Like, getting them through our Texas storms last winter was just they were the reason, like, that was what I was so worried about during those storms. Well, that and possible pipes freezing. There were a lot of problems with that. But my clownfish, and it's like, I made it through that with them, and this is the thing that's gonna. So anyway, I get super stressed. And like, I had seen a couple of spots. I've seen a couple of spots now on the firefish. I'm actually starting to wonder if it was a broken gill, because they're trying to kill each other. These firefish are not getting along. There's 2 of them. I apparently got 2 males. I'm going to have to separate them. Right now, I'm like, just stay together for now. Don't kill each other while I get you treated for flukes, and then one of you can be moved into the other tank. But for now, you need to be together. But I'm wondering if they were biting each other and that was at a scale catching light and it wasn't ick or velvet that I was seeing. I really wasn't sure what I was seeing. So anyway, that's, I don't know. I need to send in the DNA test and find out if that's even in the tank. But I'm wondering if it was just damaged tiny little, my brain shut down against scales. So possibly the way the light catches it, because I took photos. I was trying to take, and I need to change the settings on my camera. I didn't have it set right, but I was trying to take photos with it, and it almost looked like I could see a bite mark around where I saw the spots, and that got me thinking: is this just a missing, like a gill? I keep saying gill. A scale that's upturned, catching the light enough to make, because it's so small. When I look in person, it looks like ick, but like smaller. So maybe that it was never that. But anyway, I make myself super sick over all of this stuff. But with that fish form, like finding a group of people who know their stuff and knowing I can ask any question quickly, somebody will be there helping. It has been the biggest piece of, like, it's made me have fun. As frustrating as some of the stuff was with the tank, I'm also not freaking out like I normally would stress level wise, because it's like I have the people who will help me. So yeah, hopefully it'll go okay. It's just going to be a headache, and it's kind of like, what did I get myself into? Because I already don't have time. Like, I don't take days off. I don't have time to deal with setting up more tanks, more all of this. That's why I paid somebody else to quarantine them. I cannot believe my luck is this bad that parasites again went, like, I did everything buying from someone that shouldn't have happened from. And I know it happens, but it was like the chances of it happening were so low. Yeah, but give it to me or leave it to me to be the person. Cancer said, I was just about to ask you if you think the fish are nipping each other. Yeah, but their fins are fine. And I think that's the thing. I see them, like right now, they're going at each other with their head to the side, flaring out like, back off, bro. You can, like, if they can talk, that's what they say. The tank's huge. One of you can go live on the other side of the tank. Why are you doing this? But anyway, I think that's in so the Royal Grama, most gorgeous fish. He had a spot on him. And it's the same thing. I took a photo and I'm like, that looks almost like bite marks though in the photo. It's blurry, but the shape, I'm like, I bet you, and I've seen the firefish, they keep biting each other on the side, not the fins. So I'm thinking, yeah, they're at it nonstop. Like they're circling each other right now. They're little jerks. So one has to, like, long term, they can't stay in there because eventually, like, sooner or later, someone's going to take the other one out. So one of them will get moved into one of my other tanks, or I'll give it away, trade it in for a new shrimp or something. But they're bad. Royal Grama drama. The Royal Grama is funny. He hangs out kind of where people are, or the other fish are, but he'll get in their space and they're just like, back off, you can't be over here. And he kind of pesters them, but he doesn't actually bite them himself. So yeah, I don't know. Getting some little highlights here. Not that that's on the photo, but I really like that. I'm going to have to come back through with more shadows too. So let's actually start working on those deeper areas. And what's cool is I can go back to the previous layer and decide, you know what, I need this whole area to be a slightly cooler tone. No big deal. It doesn't affect any of the detail I just did. I definitely love this with, fish wars. I love that about, actually here, I'll show you, about digital painting. I want to get more of these purple tones. I'm going to switch back to this brush, go a bit larger. And see, it just goes behind everything I just did. I'm not losing any of that detail. But I can get these cooler tones. I think I want to go a little bit cooler on some of these. I'm going to pull some blues in too. More of a grayish blue. Yeah, there we go. Zay said, only on this channel is the artist saying they're little jerks about their fish. Well, I mean, they're trying to murder each other. Yeah. They're not fans of each other at all. The clownfish do that all the time too. And the clownfish, I'm used to that. I'll see bite marks on their sides occasionally. Clownfish are weird. So they'll pair off. Clownfish will start out as males, and one of them will become, the dominant fish will become, or the larger fish usually, will become the female. So like the older fish will become the female, but they'll still challenge each other. So mine have been together for 2.5 years, and they're pretty well bonded, but they will still have moments where they're like trying to murder each other. So that's a clownfish thing. And eventually they can get to a point where they've been together for years and years. Everything's been good. And the male is not performing up to the female standard. And she's like, yeah, I'm taking you out. Yeah. And she does. So you have to keep an eye on them, because there's always a possibility you'll have to pull the male and put him in another tank. He could live my coral quarantine if I need to, which doesn't really make it a quarantine, but whatever. So yeah, it's they're kind of a funny, like, old unhappily married couple, but at the same time they love each other. Like when I first put them in this tank, so they've been together in the smaller tank, the 13.5 gallon, for the 2.5 years I've had them. When I put them in this tank, one was on one side and one went to another area, and they were both freaking out. The female especially was stressing, like breathing so heavy, she was stressing so bad. And once the black storm, the little one, the male, went and found her, they got so cute and happy and wiggly, like wiggling like crazy at each other, like, oh my God, you're here with me, I'm not alone. So it was really cute, but they also will try to murder each other. So yeah, they're fish wars for sure. Those two should be fine. It's the firefish are the two that there's pretty much no chance of the firefish, because I think I've got two males. There, you can't really tell you can't really tell. I mean, you cannot tell by looking at them. So I was hoping that wouldn't be the case, but nope. So yeah, one has to come out. I put in a cup with rocks to try to, like, they'll use it as a house because they hide in rocks. I'm hoping that'll be an easy way to catch them, but if I have to end up catching them all anyway for the parasites, there we go. Paul said, I'm signing up for TikTok too. Yay! We can all have our privacies violated, but we were already having that happen because we were all on Facebook already. So, you know, there we go. We'll just have it happen elsewhere. At least if they're going to violate my privacy, they're supposed to share our content with people. So, you know, at least we're getting paid for our violations. Unlike Facebook, who wants us to pay them for them to violate our privacy. I'm not bitter, not at all. Might be getting a little too glowy. Let's pull that into the grayish tone there. I'm going to probably put a bit more purple than what my reference photo has, especially on these back areas. That way when I put the clownfish in, they stand out a bit better because everything's so orange. Definitely need more magenta too. Ooh, that's too bright. Pretty, but too bright. Let's pull that over to a grayish tone. There we go. Zay said, wait, you're finally giving into TikTok? I did. I made an account. That's kind of funny the way I made it. I didn't even know what got me started on it. I was like, hey, maybe I'll make a YouTube short. You know, start making the YouTube shorts videos. Because I've wanted to do just a quick, like what my videos used to be, where it was just time-lapse, quick time-lapse, at like a minute long. Well, they used to be like 3 minutes, but a minute long of music. I already pay for Epidemic Sound, so it was like, oh, at least use it for something. So that's the royalty-free stuff that you can put in your videos. So I went ahead and made my first one last night, but as I was looking at like how the YouTube shorts are, they were saying, I was looking at other videos that tell you like how to do it. They were saying it's essentially the same as TikTok. And I'm like, well, why wouldn't I just upload there too? If I'm going to make the video, I may as well upload it to 2 different platforms. And then I started going a little bit deeper into like best practices for TikTok. And I came up with some ideas of videos that I want to do this week, like little 15-second quick videos that I thought would be fun. So we'll see. Eo said that'd be cool to have a Reef Tank Cam so the Lacrians can watch them too. Yeah, I'll have to set one up. I don't know. Like I have a Wise camera on it. So I had thought about putting a camera over there, but I wasn't sure if it would slow down. I'll have to test it. I was worried my computer would get mad about streaming too many things because sometimes the Wacom tablet will slow it down. But so far it's been doing okay, so I might be able to, I'll have to test it and see if it gets laggy. Because if this starts getting laggy, I can't even work. Hopefully it wouldn't. So far, like I thought this would be laggier than it used to be. I haven't really done much as far as digital painting on it on the newer computer. The newer computer, this is, well, it's not newer, it's like, gosh, it's like 3 years old now. It's the MSI, but it's a gaming laptop. And so it's really, or not laptop, gaming desktop. So it can handle more. I was just afraid to try it, but I think it would be okay. Dee said, MeWe had a warning about TikTok. They're not wrong. So, I mean, that was one of my initial things I was concerned with TikTok because they do have, they do violate your privacy. Absolutely. So does Facebook. My privacy has been sold all over the internet. My social security number's out there. I have to have LifeLock to alert me if anything major happens. But I was one of the ones back a few years ago that who was it that screwed up one of the credit systems and our information mine's one of them. So I've had people trying to open credit cards at like Walmart. Like, why would I don't have credit. I don't do credit cards. So it wouldn't have, like, it was pretty obvious it wasn't me. But yeah, they've tried Cracker Barrel or Cracker Barrel. I was like, you can get a credit card for there? But it was, they tried opening all kinds of credit cards with mine. My information is already everywhere. So I'm kind of like, whatever. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too stupid about it, but like I said, Facebook was also selling all our information, or still does, while they expect us to pay them to have our content seen, but they still data mine us like crazy. At least TikTok is actually showing people your content. So I figured if I was going to get screwed over, at least I could get something out of it. Does that make me... I'm not going to finish that sentence. It takes me from being one thing to another thing, which makes me laugh, but I can't say it because it's inappropriate. I think I'm hilarious. Okay, I want to make it a little bit smaller here and a little bit more opaque. See, I'm really starting to define these better. This whole area in the bottom corner needs a lot of work. I'm really just focusing on these ones in the background right now. Paul said, they're proposing to make Facebook subscription-based like Netflix. Oh, it would be amazing. I have not heard that. I hope they do. I hope they do something that makes more people leave that, I almost swore again, crap platform. They're absolutely horrible, but I think if they came out with a model where they were trying to charge, I think that might be one of the things that would start pushing people away from it. Whatever gets people off that platform, I am happy for. And the funny thing is, it's like, we have an alternative, like, but no one uses it. And like the person that commented on my video today, or not my video, over on Facebook, she was like, but if I still use, I know that, or I won't use TikTok because I know it's violating our privacy. I mean, I know Facebook does too, but I still have to use it because that's where my friends and family are. I'm like, and the reason that our friends, and like every one of us who does the whole, but this is where people are, every one of us who keeps just using that platform are the reason that Facebook continues, being the top there. If we'd all just move, our friends and family will come too if everyone keeps going. But we have to actually make the effort. If people would at least, I'm like, at the very least, copy what you post on Facebook over on MeWe. Just get started. Get the content over there. Do both, at the least. Susan said, I think your Hill Arius what? I don't know what that word is. 2, LOL, you definitely make me, oh, hilarious. It separated itself. No wonder. You make me laugh, which is always a bonus. Yay. Okay, so speaking of I'm a dork, for the thing that I want to do on TikTok, and it's going to be an ongoing thing, I need a funny hat. And I'm torn between a king's crown, a Sherlock Holmes hat, and a pipe, and a fake mustache. Or it's going to be like an ongoing thing that I do, just quick little things. So king's hat, Sherlock Holmes thing. See, and only you guys would understand the king reference, like my joke when I'm king. But the Sherlock Holmes one would be funny, or a top hat. And there was another one, a crab. It was like just a big crab. I need a silly hat for what I'm planning that I will wear for every one of those type of videos. And I can't decide what kind of hat I want. I don't know. What do you guys think? What's for dinner? I already had sandwiches. It was like roast beef and turkey and pickles. My dinner has been had. After this, though, I can have a wine. I think, did I put one in the fridge? I meant to. I don't remember if I did or not. And then probably more iced tea. Monica says a crab seems fitting. It was pretty funny. I don't know. Joseph says a king's hat crown. Yeah, but it was like the crown with the dome thing on it, the like velvety red part in the middle. I don't know. Yeah, Rose says the Sherlock's hat is a deer stalker. I learned that today, actually. I won't remember it, but I did learn that today. Carrots are a big Sherlock Holmes. Cheshire cat. I don't think there's a Cheshire cat doesn't wear a hat. Eos Love said you need a crown. It would suit you. Yeah, I've got to figure out. I'm trying not to spend a bunch of money right now since fish are costing me an arm and a leg. So I've got to like narrow it down to one thing that I'm going to justify spending like $20 or something on. Tree frog with a crown. I wonder if I can find any tree frog hats. If anyone finds one, let me know. I'm thinking about it. I bet you they have a red-eyed tree frog. I didn't see it. I was looking up hats, but that would be good. It would be very fitting. I was looking at fish, but the fish ones were just not, like they didn't look well made. Like they didn't even look funny. They just looked dumb. The crab one was funny. Definitely a crown and a scepter. Or a sphinx. Should I wear a mustache with the crown? I don't know. I wanted a mustache with like handlebars would be fun. I don't know why. It has none of those things have anything to do with what the video I'm going to make is about. I just want like, here's my character for that type of video. I just need something that I wear in every one of those. I saw when I was looking at those hats too, they had the princess crown. I'm like, I don't want to be a princess. I'm going to be the king. A flamingo hat. I didn't see one. I bet they have those too, though. My husband, we were watching something. Oh, that stupid Teen Titans. Have you guys watched that show? It is so badly written. Dear God, that show's terrible. And it has the potential to be good. First off, the woman who plays Dove is the worst actress who has had so much Botox. She talks like this. And that's as much as she can say. There's no tonal change. She can't change her facial expression because it's so Botoxed into one cemented. Drives me. God, I hate that in an actor. Like, I want to see facial expression. Anyway. And then the writing is just so dumb. I hate Batman. Batman needs to go away. Batman wouldn't have let that happen. You can't have both arguments. And they do this. That show is so inconsistent. Like, everything is a contradiction. Every character is just worst writing. And I hate that because it had the potential to be good. Anyway, moving on. So, I keep hoping they'll take out the Dawn character. Like, could she be the one they take out? Because she is a major part that's ruining it. But the whole show in general, they're big on the whole, poor me. I feel guilty over something I shouldn't feel guilty over because it wasn't my fault. But I'm going to feel guilty about. Drives me. I hate that. So anyway, where was I going with that story? I don't even know what. Oh, so we're watching. There's a guy in the thing. He can change into different animals. And I was like, I was talking to my husband. I'm like, what animal would I choose to turn into? And he goes, he looks at me like, well, that's pretty obvious. And I said, no, I wouldn't choose a frog. That's not a good thing to turn into. He goes, no, that wasn't what I was thinking. I was like, oh, flamingo? He goes, yep. He thinks that's like the perfect animal that summarizes my whole personality is a flamingo because it's kind of dorky. So, yeah. Let's see. Paul said, drinking milk with a mustache. Julie said, a crown with glitch images pasted all over it. Maybe, yeah, I could do that. A top hat would be easier to do that with because it would be black. But Paul said, The Boys is a better show. No wonder it's not talked about. The Boys, now that show is good. That is excellent. And it's like terrible and amazing. But it's terrible it's an amazing way. But also you cringe so much at stuff that's done that you're just like, oh my God, I can't believe they just said that, or I can't believe they just did that. That show, that is very adult. Do not watch that around your children. It is not for kids. But man, is it good. So I can come through. I need to smudge some of this out. Are you my smudge tool? What are you set at? Yeah, let's soften some of that where it's a little bit too sketchy. Perfect. I love that tool. Monica said, I love watching the goofy flamingos fight with one another at the zoo. They look so funny with their ruffled feathers. Yeah, I love flamingos. Yeah, I'll have to look into some of those different hats. But see, and then I go back to, well, you guys will follow, those of you who use TikTok, I'm sure will hang out with me over there, so you'll understand the crown. Most people will be like, why is this idiot wearing a crown? But it would still be funny. It would work. Maybe a crown and a mustache. I don't know if I need the mustache. I just want an excuse for handlebar mustache, like the curly, like the, what is it? It's not just handlebar. There's a name for it. I learned this today too, and I can't remember now. Paul said, I think we're way past the emo superhero plots. Yeah, it's so just, the whininess. I don't know. I can't. It's impressive how, yeah, not good. I am impressed with how bad writing has been on so many shows. Like, that was really bad. I don't know. There have been a few things we've watched lately, and it's like, what? Somebody was trying to justify, well, COVID made it because people were working from bone. Good, then they should have been able to focus more on writing. The writing's my problem, not the acting. The actors all seem to do well, except for the idiot who plays the woman the cement block that plays Dawn. Oh, that is a better way to describe her. Cancer Pig said, is autosave turned on? It is, but you know what? Just in case, it's been a while. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I hate in general in life, though, where people are not just double standards, but you also have the contradicting themselves. Like, you can't have it both ways. And so when you have a character who is like, I'm so mad about Batman and he needs to quit because he did such and such, and then like a few scenes later, Batman would have never let that happen if he was here. Like, what? Who wrote this crap? Like a 12-year-old with their toes? Oh my gosh. Dolly mustache? I don't think that was what it was called, but yes, that look. Oh, which works for artists. Oh my gosh, I might have to get one. I'll have to look into that. Her name is Dawn. Yeah, I think her name is Dawn, but the character's name is Dove because it's a bird. But I think the character's real life name is supposed to be Dawn. But then when they refer to her character in the worst costume I have ever seen is Dove. Whatever. Brick. She's a freaking cement brick is what she is. Susan said, found a hat for you, posted the link on MeWe, so it's dorky, don't feel bad if it's a big no. Okay, let's go look. Hold on. Where's MeWe? Okay. Oh, we've got, yes, this one. I don't know. I don't think I can get you guys to see this. It's a cutest frog wearing a hat. That is just adorable. But let's see, pulling up the link. It is a frog hat. That might work. It is dorky. I do like that. I'll have to look into that. Yes. Okay. Oh my gosh, this anemone. See, this is why I don't paint anemones often. Ugh. They're so tedious. Oh, there's Amelia. She's so cute. She's still awake. She's my spider. They're really cool. I like it because she comes up front and watches me too. She's like, look at my cute face with my little floofs in my face. I'm pretty sure that's what she's saying. Let's see. Paul said, oh, Dove with a hot love interest. That one, never liked her character. Her love interest is a very attractive man, like way too good for her. He did not have Botox. I don't know. There's spoilers that I read that I don't want to ruin it in case somebody is sad and bored enough to watch that show. You should watch it so you can be judgy about it with me. Okay. I think I like the purples in here. Maybe a little bit more with the blues in a couple of areas. I want it more of a grayish blue. Let's see. A little bit, maybe a little bit darker. Almost done with some of these, and then we can work on the ones that are closer to the viewer. I'm excited with how this is coming out. As time-consuming as it is, I am very happy with what we're getting. I'm still working on that back layer, so this isn't the details. This is just blending into the background. Belle said she might be saying, can I get out of the jar now? She's not in the jar anymore. Did you see? Look at her house. Hold on. Come here. Don't get scared. I'm moving you. She's on the roof. She's not in a jar anymore. She's got a big old spider mansion. I got her the big one. So it's bigger than what she needs, but, you know, they're active. And so I figured if she'll use the space, we'll get her the big one. It fits on the desk. And yeah, she is no longer in a jar. She got moved into this on Saturday. The jar was temporary. Technically, they can live in a jar like a little thing, but I wanted her to have space for all her activities. I'll end up pulling some more aqua likely into this as well, but I'm not going to do that just yet. Yeah, Belle said much better. Yeah, the jar was just a temporary until this came. The night that I decided that I put her in the cup, I was like, okay, I'm going to order. I ordered right then. I don't want her in a little cup. I was glad too, the person I ordered from, they got that shipped out really fast. It's like Arachnid Shop on Etsy, if anyone needs one. And it's nice. It's got this like little magnet door, and it's set up in a way. So jumping spiders will make a little nest. They don't make a web like a normal spider because that's not how they catch their prey. They jump on them, but they'll make a little nest in an upper corner of wherever their enclosure is. And this one, you don't want the top to come off because you don't want to mess up their little nest. So this one has doors down low. Like, it's perfect for her. Although she has a hide. It should be here at any time now. It's a little walnut one that magnets to the top so she can go in there. I'm excited with the all Spider-Man, Toby, Andrew, and Tom in one movie. I don't know about that one. What is that one? I'm not sure what that one is. Okay, let's get some more oranges. Actually, let's go back to the detail stuff. I'll have to tone that one way down. Yeah, I don't know what an all Spider-Man, Toby, Andrew, and Tom. I don't know. I never liked most of the Tom. Actually, that's not true. I liked the Spider-Man with, was it Tom something? The kid, the younger one that kept giving spoilers away that was hilarious. The one that was in the Avengers. Those ones I liked. The other Spider-Man movies are like, had Kristen Dunst in the ones or whatever her name was, and I can't stand her. Not as much as Kristen Stewart. I get their names wrong. See, they both have stupid names. Stewart one, but still. need this to be a cooler pink, I think. Very light one. No Way Home, tackling the multiverse, so they got all the Spideys back. Interesting. Maybe. Actually, I need to go back and do some of these shadows a bit deeper. Yeah, I'll have to ask Matt about that. He hasn't said anything. Whoops, that's too dark. Let's go way lighter. Yeah, Matt hasn't said anything to me about that one. Matt is the comic book nerd, so although he gets me hooked into all these too. The wall, actually no, this wall is where the chickens are. Then from there to the end of the hall, it's like all comic books, this huge closet, and it's all his comics. So many comics. Zay said, oh yeah, they aren't joining for a Doctor Strange related story yet. Doctor Strange, now that's one I am looking forward to, like so much. He's my favorite. Him, and then probably, I always forget his name. The pretty guy, the blonde, the funny one. What is his name? From, oh my god, my brain just completely, Guardians of the Galaxy. Star-Lord. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. People are probably going to be yelling this at me. How big did jumping spiders get? A centimeter? I don't know. She's full grown. She's as big as she'll get. She's like maybe the size of my finger right there. Like she's little. Oh, she's climbing around. Go get your cricket. There's a cricket in there. She's so fluffy. Wow, she looks bigger. I think her eating well is already making a difference. She looks fluffy. Like I can clearly see her fluff. She's like right in my face. I love how not afraid of people they are. Chris Pratt, yes. I like him. Those two are probably my favorite of all those characters. Now see how this one, as I start pulling these reds in, how it separates it from the purples behind it, which is part of what's going to help get me that depth that I'm looking for here. It separates by a lot. It makes this part feel much, much closer to the viewer. I've got a whole wiggly mess over there I need to work on. I need to get some teal in there too. The nice thing is you get to this stage and it starts like everything starts really coming together. Things that previously I was like, what is that? Let's go ahead and get some of that aqua that I'm missing. We'll match that. Should get a little bit in here. I've got a few areas that I want to pull that. They said, is there a lot of work involved in maintaining a following, or do you constantly maintain it by simply making content? Just making content. I mean, I'm sure you could do a better job than what I do. Interacting would help more, but it's like there's a time, like I don't have time. And so I try to as much as possible because and this is why I like these live streams. It gives me a chance to actually interact with you guys regularly. But like, I wish I had time to go and comment on everything somebody comments on. And like one of the things that gets me, I don't know why I'll go back through and it doesn't seem to be happening hopefully as much lately, but like Patreon is a good example of this. It feels like I'm missing things. I will go back and like somebody will ask a question. So I'll go to the post to answer it and I'll look above it. And there was a question from a year ago that I never saw. Never even knew it was there. So that's kind of like, I'm not sure if it's that I missed the email never came, something on Patreon's end, something I just missed. I don't know what happened, but I hate when that happens, especially with Patreon, because I do try to get to everyone there when I can. But no, I mean, regularly creating content. Like if you stop creating content, people forget about you. You can't, like, and this is the thing with art in general. So it's not just creating a following as like a social media person, but art in general. If you're not constantly creating, you become irrelevant. So if somebody, let's say someone takes all the time in the world, one painting a year, they are working constantly on this one amazing painting. it's not going to be enough to keep people paying attention to you. It doesn't matter that the end result was amazing. You're now going to essentially disappear for a year while you work on the same thing. People will get bored. You'll lose their interest. You have to constantly be creating art. And in the case with social media, constantly creating content. So in the content on social media, it doesn't even have to be like, oh, I have to come up with a new painting. You can do something more simple, like motivational quotes, or something like a quick little art tip, or like there are ways to create content that don't require you to have a brand new painting every week too. Like you can do stuff, or every day, whatever, that you definitely want to post regularly. Now you've got to balance how much regular. Like TikTok, for example, we've been talking about that. That's 3 to 5 times a day they recommend, which is a bit excessive. I don't know how most people can do that unless that's all they're really focused on. YouTube, once a day would be great. If you can do that, I can't. At minimum once a week, twice a week would be better. What else? Facebook, if you post more, and Instagram, you post more than once a day, your content gets smushed and they don't share it with you. So your once a day limit really there, if anyone's going to see it, if they'll see it at all. But you've definitely got some different, like to each platform is a little bit different, but ideally at least once a day on most platforms. YouTube, obviously that gets to be more difficult. So at least once a week, ideally twice a week. I mean, it'd be better if it could be once a day, but I think for most artists, that's not practical, but you want to do a lot depending on the platform. You have to constantly post in order to be relevant. If you post, like I haven't posted on Instagram in forever, but if you post let's say once a week on Instagram, people who followed you at one point will probably unfollow you the next time let's say you posted a painting and they followed you because they like the hashtag or whatever, they came across your account, they followed you. You don't post anything for a week or a month. They've already forgotten about you. So let's say you posted your studio assistant as a random fun thing a week later. That comes up in their feed and they're like, why am I following this person? Why am I seeing a picture of a dog? That's not my thing or whatever. Like, I don't know who this is, unfollow. So, but if you had been posting every day your art content, then when you posted your dog or you posted something more random, more personal about you, they remember who you were because you've been posting every day. So that's definitely a factor too to keep in mind. Clark Fine Art said, I know, right? I can't have Lachri Fine Art disappointed in me because I don't do my research before I get a new studio assistant. I have always had birds, but never a cockatoo, and want to be prepped. Oh my gosh, the cockatoos. Noise. You think your sun conure is loud? Oh dear God. It's not as constant as the conure, but it's louder and destructive. And the difference you're going to see with the between the sun conure and your cockatoos are amazing and lovable, but they always want to be lovable. They want to be with you. They're super clingy, super like you are now married to a bird. So they need a lot of attention. And I'm sure you can do it because you are familiar with birds. Just know that going in, that bird will not be happy if it's not with you more often than not. They're awesome. And it's funny because that specific cockatoo, that's one I used to think I wanted. Like that was my goal in life. Like I really wanted one. And then I realized I'm like, I don't have time. I cannot keep them happy because I work in too many mediums where I couldn't really have it in my studio with me all the time. So that's why I decided no chickens for me, although somehow Chicken decided he was mine. So it didn't quite work as planned, but luckily Chicken loves my husband. So Matt mostly gives him, let's switch over. Oh, we're already at 10. Let's save this and shrink this down so we can see where we've gotten to. Matt gives him most of the attention. So next week, we're going to do what I did in the background there, those back portions of the anemone. We've got to do that now on the ones up front. The ones up front are still all fuzzy and messy. We've got to pull that detail in. Luckily, that part doesn't take as long. Let's pull this out so we can see it as a whole. There we go. Can we go a little bit bigger? Can you like do an in-between? Because an in-between would be good. But apparently, we don't want to do an in-between. There we go. We're getting there. We're starting to get there. I mean, right now, the anemone is a bit very cartoony looking because we're not done with that detail, and we need to get a clownfish in there for sure. So we're slowly building up and getting there. We're also going to have to work on pushing some of these back a little further, like this magenta right here. Where's my pen? This guy right here is he needs to be toned down. He needs to shift to a slightly more blue color. And actually, that's a pretty, I'm not going to do it right now, but it's a really easy thing to do. We're just going to shift the color. I don't even have to paint over it. But he needs to be pushed back. He's too close So just to create that depth, we're going to shove him back. And yeah, we're starting to get finally starting to get somewhere. Let's see. Cat's Art Pig said, thanks for another great live stream. Have a good night. Thank you, and thanks for joining. Make sure to check out Nick and Joseph. They both have channels here on YouTube. Joseph has been really consistent doing his Monday live streams. It's most of the same people in this chat are over there, so it's fun to chat with everybody. Well, Joseph, we've got to get him talking to us more. We need to ask him more questions to get him going. We should all think of random questions, like super random personal things to ask him while he's trying to paint this week. But yeah, check out their channels. Links are in the description. Tell them thank you. They help so much keeping the trolls and such out of the chat. Anything else? Clark Feiner said he is a sulfur crested cockatoo and I'm home all day, and was like, no puppy. And then he was in need. So sweet. I couldn't resist. So yeah. I can't blame you one bit. I get it. And he may end up being the best choice you've ever had. They're just very clingy, but sounds like it's a good fit for you. So yay. I expect a lot of photos. I'm going to live vicariously through you. I think, is that it? Oh, Friday. We'll see you Friday, 1 p.m. Central Time. We're going to be still working on the ongoing octopus. We chose so much stuff for this one and the other project that are so detailed and take forever. And now I think it's funny because you guys can really see why I typically don't paint anemones in my work. They're gorgeous. They're just, my gosh, they take forever. Is that it? Amelia says hi. She's over there. Trying to think, am I forgetting something? I don't think I am. I think we're good. It's 10. I have to go feed frogs and stuff. Yay. Thanks for joining. I will see you guys at 1 p.m. on Friday. And in the meantime, over on TikTok, I'll be continuously updating stuff there. I need to figure out what hat I'm going to go with for the one project. And MeWe. Links are in the video description. I'll see you guys on Friday. Bye.